way it goes. Just the way it goes. Degrees.
Evening, college football fans. It is I, your boy Slow. Along with me once again is my college football partner in crime, Brewhan Luke. Luke, how are you, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. I do not have to work the rest of the week all the way through the weekend, which is always great during rivalry week to have the rest of the week off.
Living the dream.
How are you?
I'm whatever. It is what it is. We'll get into that in a little bit. I'm off of work until Friday. I'm going to go up to Wisconsin and hang with the in-laws for a couple days. I got to watch the Packers game with some Packers fans in the heart of the Wisconsin Dells. So it'll still be fun. I love those guys. They're good people. They're just Packers fans, and nobody's perfect, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people like the wrong teams.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have a lot of college football. We had a lot going on the Sadistic Penguin Network tonight. We got Getting Drafty Pod following us up live at 8. So we want to get our party started. They're going to do a Seinfeld draft tonight. We're really, really excited for that. Always been a big Seinfeld guy, so that'll be cool. So we're going to hop right into the action with everything we got going on. And our first segment going to be a little bit different this week, and I'll get into that when it's my turn. But Luke, I'm going to let you take it away and talk about your game balls and lane balls while I pull up this image. You ready?
Yes. Okay, so we're starting with the game ball first on the left-hand side, and it's a beautiful sight for Michigan football fans or just people in general, really. Like, it's just humans in general. That's Blake Corum. He delivered, I think the number was 600 meals, 600 Thanksgiving meals to families, lesser fortunate families in the Ann Arbor area with his NIL money. So instead of taking his NIL money and using it for himself or for whatever else he wants, he took his NIL money and spent 600 meals for others on Thanksgiving. God, I wish more people would do this. Maybe more people do, and I don't realize it. But this is the second or third consecutive year that Blake Corum has done this specifically.
I mean, I love that, right? Like, how can you
Just
argue with
beautiful.
that? Feel how you want to feel about Michigan. Feel how you want to feel whatever. This man made sure people had Thanksgiving dinners.
It's a
and
great
that's
sight.
The only thing that matters. Dougie, happy Thanksgiving to you, buddy. I also hope that for all Notre Dame fans and staff and Florida fans and staff.
A bonus lane ball, just really quick, goes to Cam Rising from Utah. Utah's quarterback just announced he's going to return to Utah for a seventh year of college. Who wouldn't want to go to college for seven years? Like,
lots of people go to college for 7 years.
Yeah, they're
called doctors.
So just a really quick game ball to him and Utah going to the Big 12 next year. I do think that they can win the Big 12 with Cam Rising at quarterback and potentially be in the playoff hunt. I don't know what's going to happen next year as far as how the season unfolds, but you have a Heisman candidate right off the bat with Cam Rising, who had all sorts of injury issues coming back from last year's Rose Bowl game. I am so excited to watch Cam Rising play next year.
Yeah, I think those are two good game balls. What do you got for your lane ball?
NCAA.
Just
James,
in general?
It could be in general, but just specifically with the James Madison issue, where they appealed a second time to allow them to be considered for the group of 5 and the New Year's Six bowl games, and they got denied, which also denies them from playing for the Sun Belt Conference Championship title. Not only that, it just, what are we doing? Like, what good does that do for the NCAA by denying a great story? They were 10-0. They lost to Appalachian State at home, but it was the biggest college game day crowd ever. 26,000 people showed up for James Madison, and the NCAA earlier in the week still said, we don't care. Fuck you. We're going to be so set in our ways that we're still going to tell you, no, you cannot compete in a New Year's Six bowl game. No, you cannot be part of the college football playoff rankings. No, you cannot compete for the Sun Belt title. They're going to get a bowl game regardless because there's so many teams that are not bowl eligible yet. But that is aside the fact. They're going to be in some small bowl when they should be playing. They should be the team. That should be the team that people talk about this year, just like they talked about Tulane last year. But we won't get to see James Madison on like New Year's Day in a bowl game, which we've wanted to see. So, lane ball to NCAA for not having reconsidered the situation.
Absolutely. I like it. Those are two good game balls. And that's a good lane ball. I think the NCAA always qualifies for a lane ball, so I'm not mad at it. All right, Luke.
You're ready?
It's time for me to do this, guys. So
You've
bear
had
with
4
me.
days. You've had 4 days to prepare. So here we go.
It's not enough. It's not enough time for me to say what I want to say. But,
should I mute myself while you go?
Yeah, give me a minute if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm going to mute myself.
I'm going to talk here, and I'm going to talk about my football team, the Florida State Seminoles. Yeah, it's me. Like, this is me, like emotional right now. In the first quarter against North Alabama, Jordan Travis hurt his leg. We don't know exactly what it was, but it was bad. It was a Robin Ventura-like move, like slide into home plate where his leg went a way that it shouldn't go. And it hurts. Not just because like we're really, really good and we're undefeated, but because of what this kid means to the program and what this kid means to me. I hope to have my buddy Mike on, who went to FSU and has loved FSU as long as I have, to talk about what this kid means to the program. I have seen the highest of highs as a Noles fan. The 99 national championship, I thought, was the peak. And then the 2013 national championship team exceeded any expectation that I could ever have. And then the bottom fell out. And Jimbo Fisher stopped recruiting, and Jimbo Fisher stopped caring and left for Texas A&M. And we brought in Willie Taggart. And Willie Taggart, he grew up a Noles fan. He loved the Noles. He just wasn't the right guy for the job. This is not about Willie Taggart. This is about a transfer from Louisville coming in. His brother is a FSU legacy. His brother, Devon, played shortstop or second base for the Blue Jays for a long time. And he was a Florida State alum. And Jordan wanted to play at Florida State where his brother played. And, he thought about quitting the quarterback position after year one. And Mike Norvell came in from Memphis. He's like, no, like, you're going to tough this out. We're going to get through this. And I have seen the losses to Jacksonville State, and I've seen 17 consecutive wins now with Jordan Travis under center for my team. And he brought this program back to relevancy. And for him to go out the way he did on senior night, it hurts. It hurts. I've never felt this low in sports. I love this team with all my heart, and it hurt. Saturday night hurt. They knew when I was leaving work that this was serious. And Jordan, if you ever see this, like I'm gonna tweet this to Jeff Cameron and CJ Wilson, but if you ever see this, know how much you meant to this program and to me. And to make this team relevant and good again, and to make it one of the big three in the state of Florida. And that Seminole logo holds weight, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate everything you've done. You know, even in the hospital room waiting to find out what the diagnosis was, you're watching Tate on your iPhone and cheering those guys on from the sidelines. You're watching Brock Glenn and cheering those guys on and rooting for them. You were the ultimate teammate. This is not how it should have ended, but I appreciate everything that you did and will continue to do for the Florida State Seminoles. And now we get behind Tate Rodemaker and we ride. Tate, you beat Louisville last year when Jordan was hurt. And you're going to go into Gainesville this week, and you're going to beat them, and we're going to finish for 13. So, Jordan, Knowles, Mike, I love you. I'm riding with you. It's garnet and gold till I'm very, very dead. But this loss hurts, and I will remember it for a long time. And that is my diatribe tonight about my week in college football. No game balls, no lane balls, because this wasn't a dirty hit. This wasn't a dirty tackle. It was a football injury. Shit happens in football, man. It can happen to anybody playing it. It's the risk you take. But it's not what I wanted to see happen. But we ride nonetheless on to Gainesville. We'll see you in Charlotte. Go Knowles.
You said it wasn't a dirty hit, it was a legal tackle, but moving forward, would you think that that's something that the NCAA and whoever makes these decisions, that should be a hit that needs to be reconsidered for ruling, because that's problematic and it has happened in the past. I think that's something that needs to be looked into.
It wasn't intentional on Northern Alabama's part.
Not at all.
So I don't want to put the spotlight on Northern Alabama. They came in, you know, they were up by 13 points for a while, and then they took an ass whooping, right? Like Tate came in, the defense came in, they did what they were supposed to do against Northern Alabama, right? It was not intentional, so I'm not mad. Yes, they should probably the safety committee should probably look at that in the offseason and see what it is. But it is what it is, man. It's a football injury, and that shit happens, man. And I just want Jordan to rest up and get better and know that, like, how much he meant to this university. Like, he brought it back. He brought it back from the brink of just absolute, like, Nebraska level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just
relevancy.
Just relevancy. They're not relevant. They were not relevant for a while, and now they are, right? Like, they're recruiting at a high level. Mike's got them going, but that's it, man. That's it. Let's get into our top 25.
There we go. I thought it was 6:30. Apparently, it was 6:00 that the top 25 CFP is getting revealed. But let's roll with it. Let's just roll with it, baby. Let's go.
We got it. Coming in at 25, we had the Tennessee Vols. They lost to Georgia 38-10. You know, Georgia continues to roll, man. Carson Beck, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns over a 21-ranked Tennessee. They're number one till they're not.
Yeah. Tennessee is kind of like Ole Miss. They're both not really that good. I'm surprised that they still got AP votes here, to be fully honest. But it's probably because they're like, well, who else we got left? Well, what's the next best SEC team? Tennessee. Right. And nobody thought, well, are they that good? Not really. Okay, moving on, you know. So.
All right. Coming in after Tennessee, we have James Madison. We already talked about it. 26-23 loss in overtime to Appalachian State. they're 10-1 still. You're right. The NCAA kind of fucked them over, but
They're going to steamroll whoever they play in a bowl game as long as they're focused. I'm just going to leave it at that.
sure. Yeah. Coming in next, we have a new entry into the AP Top 25.
Go Rockets.
We have the Rockets.
I love this.
I love it. Yeah. Toledo beat Bowling Green 32-31. They are they're 10-1 too, man. Like they're gonna get a decent bowl.
That could be, if they win the MAC, that could be your group of 5 pick.
Maybe.
Depending on what happens with Tulane. I think Tulane's going to lose this week to UTSA. So we'll see. Tulane, SMU, Toledo, UTSA.
All right. Next up in the AP Top 25, we have Liberty. They gave UMass a beating 49-25. That was on Saturday. They have UTEP next.
Yeah, I forgot about them. another group of 5 New Year's 6 candidate.
That's a possibility. And then we have the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They beat Houston 43-30 on Saturday. Yeah, what do we make of this team, Luke? Like,
I love them.
They're hot. They're cold.
I think they're going to win the Big 12.
Okay.
I think they're going to find a way. They're going to win this week because the Big 12 was the most bizarre conference for the longest time, and we were waiting for all the chaos to happen. Oh, that's an NIU thing.
Dougie's a Northern guy, so
yeah.
I'm not mad at it. Like, I appreciate that.
Northern Illinois is not in the rankings.
Who cares, man? Like,
I know.
You root for who you root for. I love it. Dougie, I want to go to a game with you in DeKalb next year.
DeKalb, NIU is a fun atmosphere.
I got kicked out of that stadium in high school.
Nice. Oklahoma State with Ollie Gordon. The problem, we'll talk about it if it happens.
Ollie
in the Big
Gordon,
12 championship
164
game.
yards rushing,
Yeah.
3 touchdowns against Houston. Like,
you have to be able to stop Ollie Gordon, otherwise you're fucked against Oklahoma State. Texas might be able to do that. The way the Big 12 was kind of going, they didn't know how the tiebreaker rule scenario was, and then the Big 12 committee basically said, yeah, it's let's just go head-to-head tiebreaker. It's like that's how it should have been in the first place, which Oklahoma State has all the head-to-head tiebreakers. They win, they're in the Big 12 championship game, most likely facing Texas, unless Texas somehow loses to Texas Tech. I'm all in on my guy Mike Gundy. He's a man. He's 40.
He's 40. Come after him. All right. Next up, we have the offensive juggernaut, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Get him out of here.
15-13 win over U of I. Sorry, Yump, if you're watching. Good Lord, is this offense just awful?
Yeah, they should not be. They've revealed the full CFP rankings, but as we get through this, we'll go back and talk about the official CFP rankings. I don't know why. I mean, they need a Big Ten West team, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
the offense is just so bad to watch. All right, coming in at 19, we have the K-State Wildcats. K-State had a statement win this week, right? Would you say, Luke?
Yeah, they had a big win. They're ahead of Oklahoma State, which is interesting.
It is. They had 31-27 win over the rival Kansas Jayhawks. So a top 25 matchup on the outskirts of it. They come out victorious. They have Iowa State next week. Is that a bigger rivalry for them, or is that just the way the cookie crumbles?
No, I don't know why that. I just think that's the way the scheduling worked. I don't know who Iowa State's actual Big 12 rival would be. That's something I have to research or ask Iowa State fans about.
Yeah. All right. Next up on the docket, we have the Tulane Green
Waves.
Excuse me, that Mountain Dew's coming up. 24-8 win over Florida Atlantic. Willie Taggart's old school.
Yeah. I'll just keep it simple here. They're going to lose to UTSA this week. I'm a big fan of what UTSA is doing.
Okay.
they've got things going. Their quarterback is healthy now. He was not healthy in the beginning of the year when they were 1-3.
Next up, coming at number 17, Dougie's boys, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 45-7 win over Wake Forest. I don't even know where Notre Dame is going to finish out this season.
You would have never known that Notre Dame football was a thing anymore. I feel like all their fans quit. I feel like the Notre Dame fans quit after they got their third loss. Like, there's no Notre Dame loyalty. That's so fake. Oh, they got 3 losses. I'm done with the season. That's how I feel right now about Notre Dame football. Like, what? Where's the Notre Dame fans?
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I have not heard Notre Dame's name mentioned at all. Like, they have Stanford this week, and they'll probably get a win to finish 9-3. But those 3 losses, you have Louisville, you have Ohio State, and you have Clemson. Those 3 losses, just fuck it. No,
the Clemson loss is a terrible loss.
That's a terrible loss. I just you're right. The fans disappeared. All right. Next up, we have the Arizona Wildcats. They put a beating on the Utah Utes this week, 42-18. Luke, we talked about it, but once they made that switch at quarterback, they've never looked back.
Yeah. My thoughts on Arizona football have changed in the last 4 hours. I've got beef with Arizona football fans.
Why you got beef with Arizona football fans?
Because now
this is a safe space, man. You let me cry during the Jordan Travis.
Well, because now all of a sudden Arizona thinks that they're going to make the Pac-12 championship game with an Oregon loss and an Arizona win. I believe that's a scenario. It's a fucked up scenario. So they're all of a sudden hardcore Oregon State fans, and they're talking shit about my guy Dan Lanning about how he can't develop players of talent. They're running their mouths so hard against Oregon. Get out. Get the fuck out. Arizona.
All right.
Fuck yourselves.
All right.
That shit ain't gonna stand. You're gonna lose to Arizona State, and Kenny Dillingham knows. That's Dan Lanning's boy at Oregon. That's the former offensive coordinator at Oregon. You guys are gonna lose to Arizona State. It won't fucking matter.
Do you think that Dan takes Kenny with him to College Station?
No.
We're not going down that path tonight. I just know that it gets you fired up, so I fuck with you.
Anyways, I got beef with Arizona fans until this week's over, and then I will no longer have beef with them.
What's funny, and I text you this off the air, but I trained a new kid at work.
Yep.
And he actually ran track with you.
Sure. Well, I coached him. Yeah.
You coached him, and he went to Arizona. He's a big Arizona football guy.
I'm not surprised.
All right. Next up, we have the Oregon State Beavers. They took a narrow loss to a really good Washington team. 22-20. They're 8-3. They're still 11th in the country. But how do we feel about this Oregon State team, Luke?
Next. I'll talk about them later.
All right. It is rivalry week. Next up, we have the LSU Tigers. What did LSU do this week, Luke? They had a real tough game against Georgia State, 56-14. They did nothing. But let's just for the fun of it, let's go see what Jaden Daniels did, because we got to talk about it. 25 for 30, 413 yards, 6 touchdowns, 98.8 QBR run, 100 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. That's 8 fucking touchdowns.
That's impressive.
I know it's Georgia State. It's Georgia State. He's gonna be in New York. He's gonna be there.
Yeah.
At least. I'm not saying he's gonna win it.
I have some Heisman thoughts when we get to the Heisman points. My one thing I will say about this is that he probably didn't need to stay in the game for as long as he did, but I feel like somewhere in LSU's brain they were saying Heisman, and he wanted to pad some stats.
I feel that way about Jordan Travis.
Oh,
I know.
Oh,
Yeah, I love
word.
Mike.
Okay.
I love Mike. This is not a knock on Mike, but I feel like it was senior night. It was Northern Alabama. You could have had Jordan come in for a series, throw a pass, take a knee, and let Tate Rodemaker get some snaps in.
I mean, yeah. I mean, both those teams-
Jordan's been banged up all season, right?
Yeah.
So that week of rest between Northern Alabama and Florida might have been beneficial.
Or he plays like the first quarter, throws 2 touchdowns, and he's out.
But the injury happened in the first quarter.
Well,
So
he's going to start the game.
He's going to start the game. It was senior night. It was his last game at Doak. I understand that. But you hand the ball off, whatever. You do what you got to do on the opening drive, and he's done. You let Tate do its thing. That's all he needed to do. Fuck my life. Luke, I know, I ride with this team no matter what. I've ridden with this team through way worse. I sat in the freezing cold in South Bend watching a fucking team that I hate for a Willie Taggart coached FSU game. I'm not mad at this team at all. I love this team. It just hurts because of what he meant to the program.
You know what this is in Oregon form? Dennis Dixon. Dixon.
Yeah.
Dennis Dixon was the Heisman favorite. People were saying Oregon's going to go to the BCS championship game, all of that. They had all the buzz, all the hype, and then Dennis Dixon tore his ACL in a game. This is your Dennis Dixon.
Yeah.
That's my comparison.
Well, and the other thing that I'm hearing is when whatchamacallit, who was it? When JT Barrett went down and Cardale Jones came in.
Okay. Yep.
And he took that team to the national championship game. Oh, sorry, Luke. I wasn't doing that to be a dick. I forgot who they played that year.
You mean Carsale Jones?
Well, yeah. I just I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, he didn't need to play. That's all. We can move on.
Yep.
Let's see. What do we got next? We have the Oklahoma Sooners, OU, 9-2, 31-24 win over BYU. Still not impressed with Oklahoma these last couple weeks. They had the Kansas loss. They had the Oklahoma State loss. They barely beat BYU. They have TCU this week.
The team that is ranked behind them, Oklahoma State, beat them.
Yep.
And they're going to win the Big 12, so whatever. OU, who cares?
OU, who cares? And then we have Ole Miss next. They had fart for Oklahoma. I like it. Ole Miss, 35-3 win over.
Ole Miss. I thought that you said Mizzou.
No, Ole Miss had a 35-3 win over UL Monroe. We're not going to spend too much time on Ole Miss.
They suck.
They do. Next up, we have the quarterback of the year, Drew Allar.
Out of here.
They had a 27-6 win over Rutgers. You should beat Rutgers. Everybody should beat Rutgers. And they finish up the season with Michigan State next week.
Why aren't you reading Drew Aller's numbers from this game?
You want to know Drew's box score? Let's read Drew's box score.
Let's read Drew's box score.
I love Drew's box score. Let's go see what we got here. Drew Allar was 6 for 13 with 79 yards.
See, thank you.
0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 3 rushes for 28 yards.
He's going to transfer somewhere, and he's going to be way better than he is at Penn State.
Yeah, maybe James Franklin can't develop a quarterback. Has he ever?
I don't think that he has.
I don't think that he has either. Who knew?
Maybe he goes to Florida State. I don't know. Or maybe Drew Aller says, I'm the guy, and I'm going to get better.
I think that
You've got a top 5 NFL draft pick as your left tackle. Come on.
Well, no, I get it, but let's go back to the Florida State comments. And when the offseason hits, we'll talk about recruiting and the transfer portal and stuff like that.
Yep.
But I don't know how active we're going to be on a quarterback market for a portal in the portal.
Well, I mean, you might have guys lined up recruiting wise. I don't know.
We have We have Luke Kromchek, who's a 5-star recruit, the 3rd best quarterback in the country. But Tate's got another year of eligibility. We have Brock Glenn, So I don't know. I think Mike might roll with his guys here. We'll see. It all depends on what's available. Next up, we have the Mizzou Tigers. The Mizzou Tigers beat the Florida Gators 33 to 31. And there's a picture. I should have put it in here, but there is a picture of Luther Burden on the Florida sideline just taunting the Gators. And I want it fucking framed in my basement somewhere. And I'm not even a Mizzou guy, but anytime you taunt the Gators, I'm all over it. Let's go look at some of the box scores in this game on Mizzou side. Brady Cook, 20-34 for 331 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Luther Burden, 9 receptions for 158 yards. Yeah, that offense is good.
There's a reason why they are number 9 in the country.
9-2, yep.
A good SEC team.
Yeah, not an overrated one. Luke, do you mind if I take this next one?
Go ahead. I'm gonna mute. Okay.
So Louisville, and this is not about Louisville because Florida State plays Louisville in 2 weeks. This is about Mario Cristobal had a chance to seal a win again and beat Louisville, and he did not. And I will say this. When I was in Tallahassee, that was the week that Miami lost to Georgia Tech on a fucking freak occurrence. And Cristobal has not learned anything. And my buddy Mike flat out said Miami will finish with 7 wins, and they're 6-5 with 1 game left to go. That is hilarious. I love it. They could not get a better comeuppance. That being said, Louisville is the number 9 team in the country, or the number 10 team in the country. I'm sorry. And I will be seeing them in 2 weeks in the ACC championship. And if Florida State beats Florida and beats Louisville, they're going to the college football playoff. There's no way they keep them out of the playoff. That's all I really want to say about it. But Louisville's got Kentucky this week. I love that rivalry, the Kentucky-Louisville matchup. You got an SEC and an ACC team, just 2 in-state teams not liking each other. All right, let's move on to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama's 10-1, 66-10 win over Chattanooga.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's Chattanooga, right? Like, I'm not really worried about it. But, excuse me, I got a Mountain Dew burp again. Can I just let it out, Luke?
Let it out.
Oh, that was weak sauce.
Disappointing.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love that Brian got that. He knew exactly what I was going with.
Alabama.
Greenbow, Alabama. That's a Forrest Gump line if I ever heard it. They have I was gonna put this in here, but I couldn't put it in over Oregon State. The Iron Bowl is this week against Auburn. Always a fun time. I love that rivalry week. And then Georgia and Alabama play in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
What if Alabama beats Georgia? Does Georgia still sneak into the playoff?
No. Because
Dude, we need that fucking chaos, bro.
Well, can we do the chaos scenario? Do you want to do the chaos scenario now that I texted you earlier in the week? Or do we want to wait until like after this week to do that?
I think we need to wait till rivalry week is over.
Okay, because there is a chaos scenario out there.
I've been reading chaos scenarios like all day today.
Like it, you're gonna get an SEC champion team in there no matter what.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're getting 2 SEC teams this year.
I don't think so either.
We might get a conference with 2 teams in there, not the SEC. Teaser. We'll talk about that next week.
Anyways, Milroe, 13 for 16. A very 3-loss ending on that push. You're right. I'm sorry, Dougie. Milroe was 13 for 16, 3 touchdowns, 197 yards. And that's about it. Not a super impressive performance from him, but a lot of great rushing performance from Alabama. They have Auburn this week and then Georgia in the SEC championship.
Did I read correctly that Auburn lost to somebody this week? Like like another like pushover game? Like, did I see that right?
No, they beat. Yes, they lost to New Mexico State.
They lost to New Mexico State. Auburn lost to Jerry fucking Kill. Auburn lost to Jerry Kill.
And then Jerry Kill had a seizure.
Hugh Freeze lost to Jerry Kill. So that by default now, Jerry Kill should be able to coach in the Iron Bowl and just see what happens.
Yeah. We have at number 7, we have the Texas Longhorns. 26-16 win over Iowa State. God, I cannot wait for that conference to go away. It's so boring, Luke.
The Big 12 won't go away, but teams
I know,
are
but
going
Texas and Oklahoma are leaving, and then I can just forget about it.
Oh no,
like,
I'm gonna love how Utah becomes a Big 12 powerhouse. Like the Utah Utes will be my Big 12 team. And I have not purchased anything from my favorite college website, Home Field. No free ads. My favorite college website, no free ads. But the Utah, I will purchase stuff from ads.
So
after
Luke,
they are in the Big 12.
Let's talk about Texas for a minute because some news came out this week about their roster and someone returning and what that might mean for a very big name that they have on their roster.
Yeah, Cam Rising.
You know what I mean.
Oh, you're talking about Quinn Ewers returning?
Well, you think with the Longhorns logo on there that I might be talking about Quinn Ewers returning?
Is that official, by the way? I haven't seen anything official.
That he's returning?
I've only seen On3 tweet it, and I've also seen On3 tweet that Chip Kelly's getting fired, and Chip Kelly has not yet been fired.
No,
so,
I do think that it's official that he's coming back. I did read that. So
okay.
let's say he comes back. Do you think Archie puts his name in the portal?
If Arch doesn't, Malik Murphy will.
Right.
I feel like all parties are going to communicate this to each other while also looking out for their best interest in mind. Like, hey, what do we do here? Like, what are you going to do?
I've read mock draft after mock draft, and I don't see Quinn anywhere in the top 5 rounds.
Because they all probably know he needs another year.
Right, which would make sense why he's going to come back for another year.
Yes, and NIL money
is different, right? Like, you don't need to jump because you don't need that paycheck right away.
He'll get 4 or 5 million from Texas to stay.
Absolutely.
As a 20-year-old, 21-year-old kid, you're going to get NFL money, but right now you get the NIL. I don't know. I mean, Arch could stay, but I think Arch has a lot of people on his side that could say, "Hey," and then maybe. I mean, you saw this exact same thing play out last year with Hudson Card, and Hudson Card ended up at Purdue, and how's that going?
Yeah,
I mean,
not very well.
So maybe Sark has the magic formula for quarterbacks right now. I don't know.
He definitely does with running backs.
He does, but that guy is also out for the year, which could come into play at a Big 12 championship game.
Absolutely.
Or against Texas Tech. Because that's who they have to worry about this weekend.
All right, so I think it's official. Washington has moved up to number 4.
Yes, correct.
College football playoff ranking, and I was expecting it, so I'm not upset. They had a good win over another ranked team, and we played Northern Alabama, and we lost our quarterback. But, wow, Kirk Herbstreit is high. Kirk says that if 10-1 Texas beats number 13 OU in the Big 12 championship, they're not getting left out when 11-0 FSU plays number 10 Louisville in their conference championship. I like you, Kirk Herbstreit, but at least use a little logic when discussing the sport you cover. I like it.
Wait, so he said that 11-0 FSU should be out over a
one loss if Texas beats OU in the Big 12 championship.
So that's not how things work.
No, not at all.
Well, because the CFP selection committee is very much into your strength of schedule based off of their own previous rankings.
Yeah.
So by that, a one-loss Texas who lost to Alabama. I mean, like, what are we doing? Or no, they lost to Oklahoma, but they're not getting in over the undefeated ACC champion.
Right, especially because like Louisville will be the 10th ranked team in the country.
Kirk's got to not put the whatever before the whatever when we get to this situation. Is it the something before the horses or the wagon before the horses? What's the phrase that I'm thinking of here? That Kirk Herbstreit needs to understand that Texas is going to have a hard time with Oklahoma State in a couple of weeks if that Big 12 championship game is what it's expected to be.
So, college football rankings chair Boo Corrigan regarding FSU. It was really about what Washington did this weekend, not about what FSU did. Jordan Travis injury didn't have any impact as we were watching the game. Tate Rodemaker came in, did his thing, but hey, man, we're all good. Like, I knew it was going to happen. I'm not mad at it. Like, you control your own destiny, right?
Yep.
You beat Florida during rivalry week. You win the ACC championship, and you do your thing. Michigan and Ohio State still got to play each other. Someone's got to lose. If Georgia beats Alabama, hey, man, like we're looking at, let's just say Oregon beats Washington, right? Because I think in the rematch, like Oregon definitely has the advantage, the upper hand, right? So it's going to be Georgia. It's going to be Oregon. It's going to be the winner of the Michigan State-Ohio State game, and it's going to be the ACC champ. It's going to be. Unless it's Louisville.
That's what I'm saying. Not if Louisville beats Florida State.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about Louisville right now. I'm worried about Florida. If we control Florida State, if we control our business and we win these next two games, they don't keep the ACC champ out. They don't.
If you have an undefeated ACC champion out over a one-loss team, I would have a lot of questions for the committee. But the committee is smarter than that.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it at all. Luke, I want you to take it away with your boys.
Bo Nix, 6 touchdowns before halftime. He came out to start the third quarter. He didn't need to. He played like a couple series into the third quarter. It was a blowout. They didn't need to do much. I thought Arizona State would have put some wrinkles into their game plan and, kept it close for at least the first quarter. Oregon had different plans in mind. And shout out to our guy, because he's also your guy, Kenny Dillingham. Post game in the handshake line, went up to almost every single Oregon player and said, "You guys are damn good. Win the Pac-12, win the Natty. Win the Pac-12, win the Natty." To every single guy, gave him bro hugs, talked to every single one of them, spent time with them. I really am excited to see what Arizona State football is going to do in the next 5 years under Dilly.
Dilly's a good dude. I like Dilly. I'm not mad at Dilly at all.
That was awesome. I was a little worried being on the other sideline, but I think he kind of even knew, like, yeah, we don't have those guys here yet.
Yeah.
So
they will. They'll get some of those guys in.
Yeah.
Nice win for you guys over ASU. I don't really need to go into this again. It was a 58-13 win over North Alabama. I think the only thing that I laughed at was North Alabama trying to kick a fucking field goal as time expired instead of taking a knee, and it gets blocked and returned to the house. So instead of instead of a 51-13 loss, it was 58-13, and that's karma. Not for anything else other than fucking kicking a field goal instead of just running out the clock and taking a knee.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
We have Florida this week in Gainesville with both backup quarterbacks because Graham Mertz is done for the year.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until today that he was also.
Graham Mertz is done for the year, so they're going to roll with their backup, which is not good. Their offense is already not great. Their backup quarterback's going to come in. So, like, I'm not out on my Noles at all.
You're forgetting the fact that Florida's defense is atrocious also.
We're gonna be okay.
So with Tate in there, they should be fine.
We're gonna be okay. Next up, we have the Washington Huskies. We talked about them a little bit. They got the dub this week over Oregon State, 22-20. They're good. Like, they're a good team.
Every game they've played for the last 7 games or so have all been 1-score games. This is this year's TCU.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to have the TCU run. They're a very good team. I'm not discrediting that.
I think they're TCU with a better quarterback. I think Michael Penix Jr. is better than what Max Dugan was.
Yes, 100%. I just don't think, like, in my opinion, right now, an undefeated Washington team, based off of their strength and schedule and all the other things you look at, undefeated Washington should be number 2 in the country. Now,
Sure.
Now,
like based on their schedule,
yes,
over Michigan's, I would absolutely agree.
they should be number 2. Now, if Oregon were to beat Washington in that game earlier in the year, I would say Oregon should be 4, not 2. But because of Washington's current strength of schedule, they should be number 2 with the CFP rankings. Do I think that they're going to get it done when it's all said and done? We have a Pac-12 championship game to play.
Yep. We'll leave it all out on the field. Let's get into our number 3 team. I think the team that is they snuck out a win against Maryland, man. It was close there for a while.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy is not 100% healthy.
Yeah. Did we get any insight on what's wrong with him?
I did not get any information there.
A loser.
Yeah, I know. I just, he's clearly dinged up from the Penn State game a little bit. And they played with a lot of guys injured through that entire contest, and they got out of it unscathed. A little bit of a trap game there. Like that's the definition of a trap game, because you just came off of a big win against Penn State on the road, and then you've got the game next week against
with who, Luke?
Against the team up north. So you got Maryland sandwiched
the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah. And guess what Michigan did a year ago at this time? They had a hard time against Illinois the week before the game.
I remember that
against the team up north.
I remember that game, yeah. But yeah, getting into the number 2 team in the country, Ohio State. They have that's this week, man. That is this week. I love rivalry week.
High noon on Saturday, according
yep.
The Brent Musburger.
I love this matchup. I love this rivalry. And then the number 1 team we already talked about, they beat Tennessee 38-10. They're number 1 until they're not, because they just keep winning.
Man, they steamrolled Tennessee, which sorry, Joey P, but
it's still an SEC team, man. Like,
Joey P knows this year that this Tennessee team just ain't the same as it was last year. They just
true.
Ole Miss to be that much further ahead of Tennessee in the rankings is
the Hendon Hooker magic. That was a big thing last year.
Yes,
that was a big thing last year.
Well, and our favorite offensive lineman at Chicago Bears made the difference too.
Ooh, I got his jersey on Fanatics last week for like $40.
You mean Fanatics? No free.
Oh yeah,
ads.
no free ads. Sorry, no free ads. Schmatics.
Yeah. Like, they lost more than people realize, and they had a lot of turnover in the coaching staff, according to Joey P. when I talked to him at White Sox baseball games.
Never heard of him. Not Joey P. The other team.
The White Sox.
Yeah. Never heard of him.
But yeah, the thing that impressed me the most about this is Brock Bowers. They got by without Brock Bowers, and now he's back.
And they're like, a lot of people project Brock Bowers as a top 5 pick in the next draft.
He's a tight end.
I know, right? Like it's
take a tight end top 5.
I mean, like the last time a tight end went that high was Kyle Pitts. And Kyle Pitts
that's a little more recent than I thought. But yeah.
Kyle Pitts was supposed to be a fucking generational talent. And he still might be. But because now I know that the problem isn't Kyle Pitts. It's the Atlanta Falcons, who don't know how to use Bijan Robinson either.
Yeah, that's Art Smith is going to get fired.
Someone's got to get fired, because you have a fucking stud tight end who came into the league and took it by storm as a rookie. And you have this running back who's a 5-tool player, just stud running back, and you're not using him, Atlanta's like, this is a college football pod, but like you got 2 studs on that offense. Figure out how to use them.
Yeah, they got problems there.
They Atlanta is a team. If they want Caleb Williams, I want your first round pick for the next 6 years.
Well, if they want Caleb Williams, they're also probably going to get Lincoln Riley.
Well, sure. But I want your number 1 pick for the next 6 years. Like you need a quarterback to roll with those 2 guys. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yes, Yumper, absolutely. Ryan Pace went to the right organization. You have fucking studs there, man. Like,
yeah, no doubt.
I digress. Anyways, let's get into Heisman talk real quick. We want to
go.
make sure that we finish up before we got our boy Magnificent Stan and getting Drafty Pod on tonight. So we got a double feature on the Sadistic Penguin YouTube channel. But we're not going to short you out of your Heisman talk. Luke, what do you got Heisman talk?
It's real simple. We're down to Bo Nix versus Jaden Daniels.
I would agree completely.
I would invite Carson Beck.
Sure.
Marvin's out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Give it to Carson Beck.
I would not be surprised if Jordan Travis got an invite just purely based on what happened.
Isn't no. This isn't stop.
No, Luke, everything that I'm reading, Jordan Travis is still going to get that invite.
You don't give somebody an invite out of sympathy for an award that's the best. I mean, come on.
Luke,
stop.
Luke, shut up. Like I listened to your bullshit about Dan Lanning and how he's loyal for 20 minutes last week. You're going to fucking sit here and you're going to take this Jordan Travis talk and you're going to like it. You're going to like it, Luke.
No, I'm not going to like it.
No, you're going to fucking like it.
You don't give a guy an invite to the Heisman Trophy.
He earned it. It's not like they gave it to him because he had muscular dystrophy. He earned it. Up until the injury, he absolutely earned it. He absolutely earned an invite to New York City. I'm not saying he's going to win it. I'm not saying he deserves to win it. He does not deserve to win it, but he deserves to be in that audience as someone that's invited to it.
You don't bring a guy up to the Heisman Trophy.
Up, Luke.
You don't bring a guy to New York.
Yes, you do.
Because did you see that injury he had? Well,
it's not about the injury. It's about his performance.
We better
up until the point.
Now.
Up until the point, Luke.
Up until this point, was he a top 3 candidate for the Heisman Trophy?
He was a top 5,
but he wasn't a top 3.
Doesn't matter, Luke. You're
now
such a fucking tool sometimes with this stuff.
Now you want to take somebody
massive
out.
Fucking tool.
You want to take Carson Beck out and put Jordan Travis in because Jordan Travis got injured.
Because Jordan Travis fucking earned it to this point.
This
isn't about his injury, Luke. Pay attention to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
I'm not.
Did you ever see Friday?
Don't yell into the microphone.
Did you ever see Friday? Did you ever see the movie Friday? Pay attention to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Let's look up the other candidates here. Like, come on. Like, if you were to say Jordan Travis was more worthy than Marvin Harrison Jr., yes. I would absolutely.
Yes.
I would agree.
Yes.
But, I mean,
He's not going to win it. He's not going to win it. He doesn't deserve to win it.
So if they are only taking 3 candidates, you want Bo Nix, you want Jaden Daniels, and you want Jordan Travis.
Actually, I don't even want Bo. I don't think Bo deserves to be in New York. I'm gonna go Michael Penix. I'm gonna go Michael Penix.
You don't believe that. You're just saying
I'm gonna go Michael Penix. I'm gonna go Jaden Daniels. And I'm gonna go
You're taking Jordan Travis in this situation because you said Jordan Travis belongs to New York.
He belongs in New York. He absolutely belongs in New York.
Over Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Michael Penix.
Definitely over Bo Nix. Get
the fuck out of here.
Definitely over Bo Nix.
For what reason?
Anyways, let's go to Rivalry Week because Luke is a fucking tool.
You don't get sympathy votes for the Heisman Trophy.
I didn't even say to fucking vote for him. Did you pay any attention to the words that I said? I didn't even say he deserved the vote.
How do you get invited?
He deserves to be at the Downtown Athletic Club.
How do you get invited to New York? How do you get invited to New York? The votes are decided before you go to New York. That's how you get invited to New York.
Good Lord.
How do you get invited to the Heisman Trophy Award ceremony? It's based off of the votes beforehand. We don't know the votes beforehand, but there's voters that know the votes beforehand. That's how it gets decided. You don't just bring Jordan Travis in all of a sudden. I'm sorry. Like, that's your guy. That's your boy. But
it's not all of a sudden, Luke. He's been a top 5 fucking candidate all season.
Nobody's voting for Jordan Travis in the Heisman Trophy.
I control the stage. That's the first time I ever put you on timeout.
Timeout last year. You put me on timeout last week when I said Bo Nix deserves to win the fucking Heisman.
Shut up. I don't want to hear.
He still does.
Bo Nix we're blocking that word.
Marvin Harrison Jr. also should not be in New York. But
let's talk about rivalry week. Let's move on because I'm going to fucking fight you next time I see you.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. No, you're not.
You're getting a beating.
Lies.
All right. We have the big one. Michigan, Ohio State. Luke, who's going to pull out this W?
It's in the big house. It's at high noon on Saturday. Harbaugh has won the last 2 games. I don't care what you guys think about Jim Harbaugh, and he's not going to be at the game, but he's at every practice. He's not on the sideline, but he's there. Ryan Day, how's he done the last 2 games against Michigan? Oh, yeah. No, not so great, huh? Better team, better quarterback, better NFL prospects. They're going to do what they've done the last 2 years.
Okay.
Michigan.
I'm gonna go a little bit different, and I'm gonna say the Buckeyes get this W, that they become more prepared. And this isn't because I hate Michigan. This is because I think that Michigan has struggled the last 2 weeks against really shitty teams.
So you're saying Penn State's a shitty team, the 12th ranked team in the CFP rankings?
I'm saying that their fucking quarterback played like ass, and they couldn't fucking blow them out of the water.
They didn't.
And I'm saying they did the same thing. They did the same thing against fucking Maryland.
You know what we call that? We call that Michigan has them right where you want them.
Okay. I'm going Buckeyes by a touchdown.
I'm going Michigan by 2 touchdowns.
All right. Go Bucks. All right. We have the battle for the Governor's Cup. We got fucking Florida State, Florida in the swamp. It's a 6 o'clock game. 2 backup quarterbacks. I don't even know how to call this right now. Like
Florida State's going to win this game.
I think Florida State wins this game. I don't think it's a blowout. I think that we win this game and still go into the ACC championship.
No, they win by 10. The only reason why they don't win by 10 is maybe they win by 3 because they're distracted knowing that they're the better team and they have to play for the ACC championship game next week, which no matter what, they're playing for the ACC championship game.
It's just a matter of you're undefeated.
It's a matter of keeping focus for
It's the hard part is you know this as well as I do, is it's a rivalry game, man. These guys get up for each other. Like the bad blood here is no different than what it is in Michigan, Ohio State. Like these teams fucking hate each other. They hate each other. Yep. It's in Gainesville. I wish this was a fucking noon game. I wish it was a noon game because it doesn't give that swamp crowd time to get fucking gassed up and get nice and toasty for a fucking 7 o'clock game. But it is what it is, man. You gotta go through Gainesville to win it. I'm Florida State by 4.
Yeah, that actually is the line. I think it is Florida State, or is it 6? It might be 6.
I don't know. Still. I don't even know the line. Florida State by 4. And then against my better judgment, I'm fucking sick of talking about Oregon, Bo Nix.
What do you mean you're sick of talking about them? The name of the podcast is Eugene to Tallahassee, for fuck's sake. Good Lord.
It's the battle of the 2 dope helmets. Who's got the doper helmet? They're both equally dope, in my opinion. Oregon's going to fucking beat the piss out of these guys.
Well, which helmet are you talking about for Oregon? Because there's
The,
that.
I talk about the traditional, like the
Okay.
traditional helmet.
You want to know the story behind the O on that helmet?
Not really, but if you want to tell it, go for it, buddy.
The O is supposed to simulate a track.
Oh, okay.
That was a Phil Knight thing. The O, anybody that uses that goes through Phil. Um, anyways, the theme for this game is plain and simple. Everybody on the Ducks last year remembers the meltdown. Oregon State. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't say their name. The team in Corvallis. In Corvallis last year, mind you, not in Eugene. That Corvallis team last year didn't run the ball once in the second half. Oregon was up 3 scores. Didn't win the game. Brandon Dorless, part of that Oregon D line, has that in the back of his head. You know who else is on that Oregon D line? Who is not a starter, but he rotates in the mix? Mateo Uiagalelei.
Oh, is he related to anybody that you may know?
Maybe the other team's quarterback, DJ Uiagalelei, former Clemson quarterback. Listen, the theme for this game is just finish. Play 4 full quarters. Everybody in Eugene has been talking all week about the name of the game is play 4 full complete quarters. If you play 4 full complete quarters on Friday night at 7:30, I guess it would be 5:30 in Autzen. 5:30 Autzen time, under the lights, on senior night, mind you. Senior night at Autzen Stadium, under the lights. Play 4 full complete quarters. You got a ticket to the Pac-12 championship game, and you get a rematch against the team that resides in Seattle. Sco Ducks.
Yes, what Luke said. I think this is a beating. I don't think it's close. I know it's a rivalry game, but Oregon by, 17.
I hope you're right. I would also take Oregon by 1 if it means Pac-12 championship implications are on the line with a rematch with Washington.
Sure. Well, folks, it's been about an hour or two. We want to wrap this up so our boys in Drafty Pod can come in here and get prepared. Stick around to our YouTube channel for that. Luke, you got anything else you want to say?
Man, Rivalry Week is going to be fun. Check our Twitter account as we'll be tweeting from the Eugene to Tallahassee account all weekend. Next week, Conference Championship Week. It's going to be so awesome. Like, I'm looking forward to that. But just watch college football all weekend. Like, Thanksgiving is all about football, and people think about NFL football on Thanksgiving, but the college football slate all weekend is huge.
So it's one of the busy weekends for me. I won't get to watch a lot of football. I'm at work till 9:00 on Saturday, so I'll be checking my phone during the Florida State game. That being said, thank you for tuning in. We had some viewers today: Dougie, Brian, Yump, Tony. Thanks for chiming in with the chat. Thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving from us. We'll be back next week at some point. We haven't discussed what day, but we appreciate you. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for listening to us every single week when you guys do this, and we'll see you. We'll see you next week. Also, I will be back. I will be back Sunday night with my first love, my podcast, my OG podcast partner, Little Yumper on Yumper Info at the show. We got Drafty Pod tonight. We got the hookup on music. We got fucking all kinds of shit at Sadistic Penguin Studios. You can find Luke doing his thing, writing articles, blogs about beer from the 108. And basically just being a fucking college football troll. That's Luke's job.
I wouldn't say I'm not a troll. Easy on the troll.
Yeah, you're a college football troll, not any other kind of troll. You're the good kind of troll that I don't mind fucking interacting with. Luke, you're my boy. It's all for content. We love you. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Later.